Kristian. This is the last leg of what we're going to be doing here today, and we've got a bit of fresh blood, as you can see. But Kristian Husted is at the DTU, which is the technical university in Denmark. So he's a bit off kilter in that sense, instead of the science in that sense. He's an assistant professor in pattern research at the Center for Information Communication Technologies at the Technical University of Denmark. Kristian did his PhD in a cryptographic pattern matching, which I think will be clear when you see the talk here. But I don't think I'll say anything more once we get back to the questions afterwards and stuff. Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name is, as Rune just said, Kristian Husted. And I would like to thank first of all Rune and the Royal Danish Academy of Fine Arts for inviting me here tonight to talk a bit about patterns. The pattern in us all, exposing the substructures of the world. I'm not quite sure exactly why I've been invited, because this is somewhat out of my usual context. But I'm very honored to be here. Please bear with me if my English is a little rusty. I usually do my talks in Danish. As you can see, my interest in patterns and how patterns affect the world started at a very early age. I remember how my grandfather would take me to the beach every Sunday to look out over the sea and observe the constantly changing patterns of the waves. My grandfather was a physicist, and he had an idea about a basic pattern in the world. That everything consisted of energy waves, and that differences in the world were caused by the types of patterns that were formed in these energy waves. At the time when my grandfather, this is from my grandfather's study at the West Coast of Jutland, which is quite far away. But at the time when my grandfather put forward this idea, Einstein's theory of relativity was still considered quite controversial. And as my grandfather's idea was a further development of the theory of relativity, he had quite big difficulties getting accepted in the scientific community at the time. His ideas were simply just too abstract. Recent developments in interdisciplinary scientific research have proven that my grandfather was right. So today I would like to present some of the most recent results from zoology, mineralogy, psychosociology, the avant-garde of camouflage, astrophysics, and theories of perception that all support my grandfather's and now my own theory that a basic pattern exists in everything. Finally, I will present my latest contribution to pattern research, a device I've named Scope 3000. It's very hot today. In the last year's issue, in May, of the internationally acclaimed journal Science, the Animal Pattern Group at the Imperial College in London revealed that most animals perceive visual information as a direct result of the patterns in their own fur or skin. In their paper, the Animal Pattern Group demonstrates that many animals perceive the world by projecting a type of pattern from their eyes that mimic the patterns in their own fur or skin. When, for example, one giraffe observes another giraffe, a correlation occurs, as you can see here in the middle, between the two different animals' different patterns, and as a result, they perceive each other as giraffes. Similarly, a giraffe's projected pattern is bounced off objects in its environment and returned back to the giraffe as variations of its original pattern. This is, of course, reminiscent of the classical emission theory, suggesting that vision is accomplished by rays of light from the eyes. But the discoveries of the animal pattern group in London are quite new, and they show, as you can see here, that the animal's perception creates a complete picture, creates an interference pattern that gives the animal a complete picture of the environment that surrounds it. Pattern shrubbery, pattern lion, pattern giraffe, pattern tree, pattern. Another example of this is the zebra, which has a quite remarkable physiology. The back of the zebra contains photoreceptors made up of dark red, oily spots in a distinct vertical pattern blocking light of short wavelengths. We believe that this special physiology has helped the giraffe detect horizontal movements of predators, such as lions. Because zebras are extremely sensitive to horizontal movements of anything yellow, for example lions, because even minimal shifts in the pattern produce strong interference patterns in the zebra's nervous system. However, the zebra has trouble perceiving vertical movement of, for example, birds of prey, because these animals do not pose any danger to it. Consequently, the zebra can easily detect the lion as it runs across the savanna towards it. But if the lion were to come from above, the zebra would have a serious problem. Its inability to see colors like blue or violet might in a similar manner be explained by the fact that there are no blue or violet predators in Africa. At the end of the article, the animal pattern group suggests that even inorganic material might have this ability to perceive patterns. Some minerals have a so-called distributed pattern perception. This means that pattern cells cover the entire surface of the mineral, projecting patterns in all directions simultaneously. As you can see here, the perception patterns of these minerals far exceed those of human beings. And they can perceive many more colors than we can. Minerals such as quartz, silicium, O2 have 12 different photoreceptors, and calcium, fluoride, calcium F2 have 6 different photoreceptors, where human beings have only 3. Exactly why these minerals have developed the ability to perceive patterns is still not clear to us, but the discoveries of the animal pattern group indicate that the phenomenon of pattern perception is not just restricted to inorganic life. And this is where my own research starts. I'm convinced that the same type of pattern perception can be found not only in simple animals, like zebras or giraffes, and in minerals, but also in higher primates, including human beings. This becomes obvious when we observe people who exhibit the so-called pattern 2 borderline schizophrenic condition. This group of deeply traumatized people react pathologically to certain patterns in, for example, textiles resembling animal skin. These people make up an increasing percentage of Denmark's adult population. And as you can see, the number of... I don't think it's very funny. The number of incidents has increased, doubled, almost tripled since 2003, making this disease one of the most common forms of schizophrenia in Denmark today. I believe that this rise is connected to increased globalization. And to illustrate this, I will play back a recorded interview with an anonymous sailor. Listen to this.
Jeg lagde en sten over hovedpuden. En lille brostruktur. 5-6 cm i diameter. Jeg kan ikke helt huske, hvorfor jeg lagde den over hovedpuden, men det forekommer at være den rigtige ting at gøre på daværende tidspunkt. Så lagde jeg mig til at sove, og da jeg vågnede næste morgen, kunne jeg mærke, at en forandring havde fundet sted. Jeg løfter dynen af og kan se, at min krop er blevet et leddelt, flimrende, sort-hvidt mønster. Det er som om min krop og tapetet og væggene flyder sammen i en samlet masse, flimrende masse af forskellighed.
I would like to ask if it is a mere coincidence that in his youth, this anonymous man that you just heard sailed on the HMS Furious with my grandfather. What you actually see here is a British battleship from World War I, painted in dazzle camouflage, or razzle dazzle as it was named at the time. My grandfather's good friend, the artist Norman Wilkinson, invented dazzle in 1910. Today it may seem like a strange idea to have painted ships in huge psychedelic patterns as camouflage. But dazzle was invented at a time when radar did not yet exist. Submarines would determine the course and speed of enemy ships through visual observation alone. And this is where dazzle proved very efficient, because dazzle could conceal the ship's direction, or heading as it is called. For instance, by making it seem as if the ship was broken into two ships. Or even that the ship was a giant cluster of clouds. Razzle dazzle broke up the contours of the ship into one big mirage-like pattern. The originators of dazzle were members of the so-called Vorticist group, a British artist movement that mixed Cubism and Futurism. Here in the next diagram, you see a special war edition from the Vorticist group, the magazine Blast from July 1915. Dazzle anticipated, as you can see here, many of the notions later claimed by so-called avant-garde artists within the style, suprematism, neoplasticism, and optical art. The Vorticist group shared an interest in the abstract and non-figurative world with these later avant-garde movements. And they had, like these movements, an idea of a truer and more fundamental level behind our normal existence. Or, more poetically put, in the words of Casimir Malevich in 1928, nothing is real except abstract patterns. It is the only true sensation of non-objectivity. We have asked ourselves, what does this mean? Perhaps this. Dazzle expressed not only a desire to change the external world, the ships, but more so a desire to actually change the human anatomy. By using an approach inspired by Dazzle, the group around my grandfather and Wilkinson sought to reinvent the body by using geometrically shaped costumes. This exclusive footage I found in Ørum in Paris. And here you see Norman Wilkinson in front, giving indications to the rest of the group. The aim of the group was, as the group's only Russian member and later suprematist Casimir Malevich wrote in his diary, that the human body be broken up into shimmering fragments, and I quote, in a desire for disintegration, that the body is to be transformed into a new and better world of non-figurative materiality. It was Casimir Malevich who later drew these sketches for the opera Victory Over the Sun, for which he also made color-changing costumes. Using modern technology, we've been able to show how the original sketches actually did change color. Norman Wilkinson and Casimir Malevich met on several occasions to work on a Dazzle manifesto that was never published. But Wilkinson recounts in his memoirs how after a dinner with Malevich, he saw the first Dazzle composition in leftover melon ring. It is hardly a coincidence that the idea of Dazzle came to Wilkinson from watermelons. In our own time, the neurologist Dr. Taniguchi has described human interaction with patterned vegetables. In a number of experiments, vegetables have proven to have a decisive impact on the human brain. As you probably know, the human mind is designed to seek out patterns in their surroundings. The brain reduces memories to a more compact form. Similarities in events, places, or people form simpler and smaller patterns. And these patterns of memories make up one larger pattern constituting human consciousness. If we were not able to form larger patterns of memories, our recollections would remain chaotic because of the enormous amount of detail that had to be collected. Dr. Taniguchi has proven that the brain has a tendency to think in patterns of memory and not specific memories. I believe that all of the individual patterns that every human being generates constitute one large, common and cosmic pattern that ties all of humanity together in all of its diversity. Already the Egyptians and some Americans thousands of years ago, when they built the pyramids, they were trying not only to focus cosmic energy, but also to read the common patterns in our perception of everything. In reality, the pyramids are super efficient resonators of polarized microwave systems that can convert cosmic energy into visible electricity. For as long as there have been human beings on this planet, people all over the world have tried to manipulate the cosmic pattern by covering their own bodies with patterns. Human beings do this in order to display their own individual patterns, but also to uncover the common pattern in the world around them. I do not, however, recommend an excessive use of these methods. Long-term exposure to the pattern in the demand and retina, and also sensitivity around it. There is a theoretical danger of being consumed by the pattern, causing complete absorption and disappearance from the physical world. To my knowledge, There are only very few known examples of people actually returning from the pattern. Documents from the 17th century speak of a few incidents within the East African tribes. And then there is my good colleague and friend, the linguist Lene Asp. Lene is in fact the only living example I've been able to find. And in this excerpt from a previously unpublished testimony, Lene describes one of her earlier experiences with the pattern.
Jeg husker Messensen kommer meget tydeligt, men jeg har ikke alle detaljer på plads fra køkkenet. Men jeg husker, at jeg sad bare ude og snakke på en gang. At der kom tilbage i køkkenet, var det som om, at der var noget, der var ændret. Jeg havde den der underlige fornemmelse i kroppen. Pludselig var jeg bare fuldstændig fokuseret på hans tøj, på hans skjorte. Han havde en rød skjorte på hans skovmandskjorte. Og jeg, først var det at se helt ud. Lige pludselig begyndte han at fokusere på de her mønstre i skjorte, som begyndte at stå og bevæge sig. Og så til det lande sig, kom ind over hinanden. Jeg kan sådan den her skjorte, og den overtog hele sydsbladet. Så jeg fornemmede, hvordan den kom, som jeg var ikke ved spisebordet, og spiste sig igen over en far, fordi den skjorte var større, og lige pludselig var jeg sådan en skjorte. Det var som om, jeg har kommet med kroppen. Jeg var ikke længere selv, jeg var ikke krop, jeg var ikke en menneske længere. Jeg var simpelthen bare skjorte. Jeg var kun syg og lugt. Jeg var reduceret til syg og lugt. Og mistede fuldstændig kontrol over mig selv og jeg var udvendt, jeg blev svignet. Jeg spørgsmål, om man prøver sig at være og komme ud af den anden side af verden. Det er mærkeligt.
Lene Asp. There isn't much statistical material on the subject, but most researchers agree that it is a hereditary talent in some human beings. Possibly a rare genetic mutation. But today, with the help of new technology, it is no longer only the few fortunate genetically disposed like Lene and open that channel pattern. I will now give an exclusive demonstration of the scope 3000. It's a so-called viewing device consisting of three parts. We have the body device, a sound interface, and then these high-intensity optical filters front, driven by some and the side speed. In order to give the user the most extreme transcendental experience, Scope 3000 uses absolutely most recent technology available. The device is carefully maximize the transmission of energy out of space directly to the user's brain in an almost exact 90-degree angle relative to Earth's acceleration. The optical filter is not interpret cosmic radiation as a parallel world. When time cosmic radiation comes out of space and it's reflected in optics around the user. The optical filter visualizes cosmic energy in the surrounding, and just like ancient Egyptians came cosmic energy in the pyramids. You can now focus previously unknown powers of the universe. My studies indicate that regular use of the scope will activate previously dormant optical centers around the eye, and that these sensors stimulate hidden parts of the brain, enabling you to look into your future. I'll make an attempt to get in contact with the future. As you can probably hear, it is very difficult to communicate once you are using the scope. Therefore, our pair early experiment shall be one week. With a bit of luck, I will see you in a brief moment. Object appears in the appearance page between rotating this and it starts out as hard invisible flickering the contours. Now relax and gently materialize until you have a complete pattern the object. But what's this cosmic radiation really? Tattoo cosmic radiation is from the universe. Big Bang! 300,000 years after the Bang universe was big, hey, particles in which a star wave as a result of the continual expansion and contraction of the particles. These pulsating sounds have been a mystery since they were discovered some years ago. Such green predictable pulsating radiation only originated from extraterrestrial beings. The little men. And these pulsating sounds from the beginning of the universe. End of the universe. And it is also now years before it would reach its peak. High to the party. Radiation is extremely high. And scientific nerve to use time. Is a particle. Space and the back. Which years. Atlantis, right, again, unravel the secret, live, the world is happening at margins of the universe, inside the recesses of your body. Here. Red world and night all. phase of imminent collapse are not mistaken. Our society is on the verge of collapse. Just a few hours ago, the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States admitted that the American economy has already collapsed following the announcement that the world's resources have run out. In a few years, we will be on the threshold again for a new global crisis and millions of people die. In a few years, the moment they will take the ordinary like you and is getting power. That's all. Speak. The climate panel at the United Nations report admitted that the world's climate crisis is getting stronger power. And the rest of also fatal consequences. Russian chemical layers someone is putting invisible microscopic nanobots on This nanobot breaks down our individual willpower and they raise our independence in order to create a new race of creatures. On the United States, there is a particle reactor. It is there. The so-called experiment. In reality, it's a top secret weapon in the form of a black hole. A black hole. This is very growing and destroys everything. It will throw gigantic amounts of stuff into the earth. Asteroids, just as the size out millions of years here, the sea rains. Nothing everything here. Prepare yourself, you're doomed! There is a pattern where there is wind, fire. Not infinite space. The endless consciousness. The endless perception. Not this world next. Not the sun or the moon. And there I tell you, there will be neither coming or going. No disappearing or appearing. A place rest. No place to stand. No foundation and no independent will. And this will be the end to all our histories. Without individuals, thousands, we will be able to see the world as it really is. The jungle from different patterns in constant motion. We must create our own individual patterns and build our own world, so that together we form one greater pattern. The specific pattern is not so important as it is that we choose that great pattern. In harmony, and with respect for our new common pattern, we can achieve. As it is clearly shown in this diagram, based on figures from MIT. Once we accept the cosmic pattern, there will be a clear potential endless economic growth by 2018. just a minimal increase in the number of people panning will have a dramatic effect on the total number of conflicts in the world and ensure global peace. Here we can clearly see how the number sold in Denmark have had a very positive influence on the Danish government. And with this, I'd like to thank Rune Gravlund, and you all, and the Royal Academy of the Arts, and the Royal Academy for inviting me tonight in Copenhagen tonight. I've made a little handout. For you that you can take home with you and study. That you can take home with you and test yourselves and test your relation to the pattern. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate. Thank you.